I'm back. So, a new year is ahead of us. I hope you guys behaved yourself. As for me, I'm finally going to talk about something I've been a huge fan of ever since I got to know it. And that thing is called Mr. Bean.
If you don't know who that is, then it's a role played by Rowan Atkinson, a really great British comedian and actor, who basically is Mr. Bean, a somewhat dumb guy who doesn't talk much, making this show a semi-silent comedy. Think of it as our time's Laurel and Hardy, or Chaplin if you must. He was mainly huge in Europe, more in America and Asia though.
And today I'll be talking about this show quite a lot. Simply because it's great. So great that it actually created 2 cinema movies. One decent and one a bit below. Well, it is true. This show actually created 2 movies. Yeah, I was getting to that.
The show also spawned 2 Mr. Bean animated shows. The first one rather enjoyable, I must say, for a cartoon based on a popular movie that is. And the second one, mainly called Series 2, well, let's just say that they removed the silent part of the show, making it so much worse.
But I'm here to talk about the main show. Huh? The movies then? Then what? Oh yeah, right, as that would ever happen. I know there's an animated show, I just briefly talked about it. Jesus! Now what is this? No! Blast, why? Why? You already ruined Lassie's chances of ever getting another game. Why do you defy all that's holy? Okay, apparently I have to talk about this game. Yeah. You sure I shouldn't just talk about the animated series? Oh, I could even watch the second series. No? I thought so.
So, as you might have guessed by the cover, this game is based on the animated show rather than the original. Why the original is on the side, I have no idea. And like any other bad game, it starts up with the most annoying of sound effects ever to be used. Another thing to notice is the start menu. Looks a bit dull when compared to the show, right? Take a look. You see, they could easily have made Mr. Bean dance in a short 2 to 3 second loop, but they decided to go with this stiff image.
But enough of this. Let's talk about the game.
After you start the game, you get greeted by a very short clip from the actual animated series.
And I do wonder why we don't get that dumb blast tutorial video. But it's coming soon enough.
You start up the game and the first thing you'll realize is that the controls are simply terrible.
Try to imagine, it feels like they spent 5 minutes on the programming. And then took a 50 minutes lunch break.
To talk more in depth of these controls, when you move around it feels sort of like you're gliding. The jumping and grabbing mechanics are extremely stiff, and so is the controls in general. It just feels like an early alpha game in modern talk. So right off the bat, the game starts you up in a hub, letting you pick a stage. You have one available at the beginning, and unlock more as you find puzzle pieces. And if this sounds familiar, then it's sort of true. It reminds you of Super Mario 64, right? But instead of unlocking a variety of stages, you just unlock the next level. And to make it even worse, you have to get all the pieces to proceed.
So let's try out the first stage, shall we? Mrs. Wicked's back garden, which is nothing like a back garden, because if that was a back garden, it would be 15 feet wide and over 150 feet long.
So after you get used to the horrible movement, you'll notice all these signs. And let me tell you, they are more than pointless. They are mindless. Right after, you get introduced to the first enemies in the game, moles and bees.
Not the bees!
How creative. So as you make your way through the first stage, you realize that these puzzle pieces are almost straight on the road. You just have to see them.
Making this whole level progression completely pointless. I mean, you can skip a few stars and still beat the game in Mario, right? Oh, but not here, you have to collect all the pieces.
Oh, and speaking of level progression, you actually have a meter showing just that. How far you made it in that stage.
Another mechanic in the game that sounded good on paper, but didn't execute well at all. The other being the obstacles and the jump boosts.
I mean, why in the world would I use this jump boost to reach that cookie, when I can jump from the ground just fine?
This game actually features 12 different stages. According to the box at least, which is a lot more in the Lassie game they made. But if that is better or worse... I mean, on one side, you have more stages to play. And the other side, you have more stages to play.
Just to mention it, I really loved this motionless expression they gave him.
This actually reminds me of the 64, where... Oh wait. No it doesn't?
After you beat all stages in the park level, you get to the sewer. But you have to beat a puzzle first, and this time it's a jigsaw.
Fuck! Come on! Place it, damn it! Ugh!
Okay, made it. Finally. Now to the sewer and... What the hell?
Blender time?
Blender time.
And from here on out, it's mainly the same as the other levels, with slightly different design. Just look at this and tell me it doesn't look the same. One thing I haven't shown you yet is the puzzles you have to solve to proceed. For instance, there is a box here and a pressure plate over there.
Gee, I do wonder what I should do here.
Not to mention that horrible grab animation. There was something else I wanted to say about this grab. Oh yeah, it's way worse than the Zelda games for the N64. Not to say that those were bad or anything, but this is next gen. You would expect them to have better quality by now. Never mind. But let's look at the Zelda game. The grabbing is extremely fluent and works really well with the environment surrounding the game. But in Mr. Bean, you have to stand completely still, no running, and you have to be somewhat precise where Bean is. Or unprecise. It feels more like the game works when it wants to.
And just for shits and giggles, here's one box that went over the edge. Stunning.
Something I haven't talked about yet is the sounds. The music is dull and annoying the more you hear it. You might not notice yet since you only seen bits and pieces, but let me tell you, it's the worst.
After you're done with the sewers, you get to the factory. And that actually reminds me of a certain Garfield game I used to play when I was younger. Maybe I'll give that a go one day.
Another thing you might have noticed is the really bad pun names for a lot of the stages. Here's some examples. Terrible. Just... terrible.
Oh, and guess what? I accidentally missed a puzzle piece, so now I have to go back and get it. But the block I needed is still immovable. I have no clue what to do now.
Get up! God, get up there! God damn it, get up there! What? How?
Seriously, I restarted this level multiple times. I even got stuck in between blocks. Yeah, that happened. And now? I finally get it? This game is so broken, man. But at least I'm done, right? Oh, it's Teddy! I found Teddy! Yeah, Teddy! Teddy! What? 750 cat biscuits? Why in the world would I even need that? Is that one-eyed cat the culprit or something? Besides, I was supposed to find Teddy? I mean, the animated clips they put in the game really didn't show anything surrounding that.
I mean, surely I thought it was like that episode where Bean goes on a treasure hunt. One of the better episodes, I might add. I mean, this whole game, puzzle pieces, treasure chest, it so adds up. Why does it end like this? I mean, no, it doesn't end, since I still need some biscuits. 17, not too many. I'll just pick up a stage where I didn't find that many.
There we go. Plenty of biscuits now. Oh, it's just credits. I don't know, but for some reason, I thought that I would get a clip from the animated show or something. I mean, I given up hope on something original, like the Ed, Edd n Eddy game. And not that the animation was that good anyway. But still, more effort than this.
So this game is bad, terrible, an insult to the Bean universe and the actor who played him. This has nothing to do with the show, the original or the animated. The clips used to tell the story is firstly out of context. Next, it adds more confusion in it does explaining. I tell you, if I haven't checked the bags out of the box, I wouldn't have had the slightest idea of what I was doing. The music is notorious to say the least. The sound effects are completely garbage and the AI is none. The stages are also extremely repetitive. The enemies are no threat and also completely wasted opportunity to bring some value from the animated series into the game. Rather than just being there because they have to. Although I have to say that they did bring in the right enemies, stating that clearly the creators have seen the show. Why they didn't do something better then is beyond me. I swear, when you're playing this, you kind of doubt that they even got the license to make this game in the first place, lacking any thought from the show whatsoever. There's nothing, and I repeat, nothing good about this game. I would say that if you like the animated series, then buy one of two of the episodes on DVD rather than spending your money on this disgrace.
I know it's a bit late, but since the extra menu is really boring only having 4 clips from the show, let's take a look at the tutorial stage to see if that's at least somewhat funny to walk around in.
Hi there, this is Blast, and he's here to show you how to play Mr. Bean.
Fuck!